divorce attorneys are being flooded with calls. One attorney posted on X that she gained 14 new clients following the election, saying that November is usually a slow month where like 5 new cases would be considered a lot.
So you know how there are those people who are breaking up with their boyfriends because their boyfriends voted for Trump and everybody's like, oh, well, it's just politics, people can have differing opinions. No. Yes, people can have different opinions, but not when it comes to human rights. Like different opinions when it comes to like pizza toppings or like what's your favorite ice cream flavor or like what's your favorite color.
He admitted that he was going to vote for Donald Trump, and
that was it.
I can't share my life with somebody that's going to support that direction. I mean,
if you are considering a divorce because your husband voted for Trump and against your rights as a human being, you should contact a lawyer now. Before no-fault divorce, you couldn't just leave your husband because you didn't like him. You had to provide proof that there was physical abuse, mental abuse, that there was some sort of infidelity, and you had to be able to prove it in court.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Imagine loving someone so much that you promised to stand by them for better or worse, only to discover that worse means voting for Trump. In today's video, we are diving into this surprisingly yet increasingly trend of spouses calling it quits over political differences. From broken vows to broken homes, all because of politics. Let's check on how one's vote can unravel because of love, loyalty, and commitment. Let's look at these stories that I've gathered for you guys behind these headlines grabbing divorces. I'm so surprised to see that some of the couples have even already sent their partners, especially women, have sent their spouses divorce letters for them to sign because they don't want to have anything else to do with them. Let's watch these videos together and we'll come back to it.
Till death do us part is a vow most married couples hope to keep when they say, I do. But in the wake of this year's divided presidential election, some Americans are calling it quits based on who their spouses voted for. As a result, divorce attorneys are being flooded with calls. One attorney posted on X that she gained 14 new clients following the election, saying that November is usually a slow month where like 5 new cases would be considered a lot. People, more and more and more, over time, are choosing their own happiness over just staying together like people used to do in the past. Once you feel like that person doesn't align with you, oftentimes people can't get past that. Couples often fail to have discussions around hot-button topics like politics until it's too late. She said because of how politically polarized the country is, those often difficult talks are important. According to statistics, women are known to file for divorce in 70% of all cases. According to a Reddit user, his wife was one of those women. I voted for Trump. My wife secured a lawyer and filed for divorce. Worked out a separation plan and had me served within 48 hours of me casting my vote. I don't know. If men wanted to keep their wives, maybe don't vote for a pedophile rapist who made your body, my choice possible.
He admitted that he was going to vote for Donald Trump, and
that was it.
I can't share my life with somebody that's going to support that direction. I mean, this individual is a convicted felon, will say offensive remarks about women, about different ethnicities, and I find it highly offensive. How can this man lead our country when he's in a position of power and will openly insult different groups? It's very offensive.
I believe that Kamala Harris is the leader that we need, and she gives us, a seat at the table. And if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. But I don't know how many people would have gone as far as to split with their significant other because of a political view. Do you regret your decision to leave?
No. I am a strong woman, and I believe that women out there need to be strong and stay steadfast in their convictions. Ladies, we need to band together.
So if you're following me on my page, you know that I have been actively talking to my husband about ending our 17-year marriage. But the events of the past week have made me think that maybe that's not a good idea. That this is the wrong time to go out there on my own with my kids, make myself a single mother. There's so much chaos and conflict and unknown out there that I shouldn't make any big moves. Being in my marriage is difficult and hard, and I'm very unhappy, but at least I know it. It's the devil that I know. But then a couple days after the election, I think I was watching a video, where Trump was talking about dismantling the Department of Education. And I have 2 kids who have IEP, so I was emotional and upset about it. My husband had come home and he had asked me, what's wrong? And I told him nothing. I said, I'm fine, I'm just not feeling well. And then he walked off. And the reason why I didn't tell him about what I was really feeling is because I know that my husband is not a person that I would talk to about my emotions and feelings, because it's not safe. It would have turned into an argument about politics, or about how a woman shouldn't be president, or about conservative and libertarian and Joe Rogan and all this other shit. And my feelings would be cast aside, not meaningful or important. And that made me realize that my instinct was correct. I have to get out of here. This isn't a safe place for me, and it hasn't been a safe place for me for years. And even though I've done a pretty miraculous job keeping the marriage together, keeping the family together, in spite of my husband's effort to tear it down with his words, his actions, his indifference, this isn't the right place for me. I can't be the mother that I need to be. I can't be the protector that I need to be for my kids and myself in this environment. I know I can do it. I know I can protect myself. I know I can take care of myself. I've done it all along through this entire marriage. And I've done it while being undermined, while having somebody that's been against me and somebody who's tried to tear me down. That means if I'm free of that in the world, I can thrive. This is so different for me. I don't do this. I don't take risks and I don't take chances. This is going to be the first time in my life, really, that or the first time in many, many years that I'm going to take the biggest risk that I've ever taken. But I'm betting on somebody. I'm betting on someone who's come through for me every time, and that's been me.
This is a PSA for any of the ladies that have been seriously considering divorcing their husband. There's a lot of big conversations happening now that we have the results of the election, one of them being no-fault divorce. That is a type of divorce that allows you to end your marriage without needing to prove that anyone is at fault. Some lawmakers are looking to abolish that, which is going to make you divorcing your husband a lot harder. So here's what that potential change could mean for you. You're going to have to prove that your husband did something wrong, which can be even more expensive, emotionally draining, and time-consuming. Legal battles over fault can keep you in an endless and very expensive fight. Removing no-fault divorce could mean higher conflict in court, which is certainly not ideal for your kids or you. Without no-fault divorce, you lose the freedom to decide when to leave your marriage. Your private decision could be left up to someone else's idea of what's right. So if you're unhappy in your marriage, now might be the time to act. Protect your right to choose what is best for you and your kids before it's taken away. Because the reasons that you want to leave your marriage are no one else's fucking business.
No-fault divorce is on the chopping block now that we know that Project 2025 will be implemented, and especially since JD Vance is in office, if you are considering a divorce because your husband voted for Trump and against your rights as a human being, you should contact a lawyer now. Before no-fault divorce, you couldn't just leave your husband because you didn't like him. You had to provide proof that there was physical abuse, mental abuse, that there was some sort of infidelity, and you had to be able to prove it in court. In the past, judges would not grant a divorce unless women could demonstrate that they were financially independent. So if you gave up your career or your job to stay home with your small children, you could be out of luck. Judges also denied women custody of their own children if they didn't have the means to take care of themselves and their children independently of husband support. And I know this because it happened to my mother. The judge told her that he would not grant her a divorce unless she made a certain amount of money every week to take care of herself and her children. Otherwise, he wanted her to stay in a violent, abusive marriage. And that is what's coming down the line. So my advice, call a lawyer, see what your options are before it gets too late. Good luck with that.
So you know how there are those people who are breaking up with their boyfriends because their boyfriends voted for Trump, and everybody's like, oh, well, it's just politics. People can have differing opinions. No. Yes, people can have different opinions, but not when it comes to human rights. Like different opinions when it comes to like pizza toppings, or like what's your favorite ice cream flavor, or like what's your favorite color. Like different opinions, yeah, that's completely valid. Like you can't be racist or sexist or homophobic and just be like, oh, well, it's just my opinion. Like, no, it's not an opinion. You're just being a bigot. I just don't understand why this is so hard to conceptualize. Like, why can't people just not be racist? Like, why can't people just not be homophobic? Like, why can't people just not be sexist? Like, it's really not that hard. So the people who are breaking up with their partners because their partners voted for Trump, I think it's valid, because it's not just about different opinions. It's not just about politics anymore. It's about a lot more.
So I'm seeing a lot of people like saying they're divorcing their partner because they voted for Trump. It's all over Instagram and TikTok. But like, my question is, what did you guys discuss in your relationships? How did you not know that your partner was gonna vote for Trump? How do you not know your partner's political views? How do you not know your partner's core values? Why do you have to go through relationship, engagement, marriage, and only realize when you're married and been married for a while that your partner would vote for Trump? It's a little weird. Like, what do you guys discuss? What do you guys talk about in your relationships?
That's what's actually happening and has been happening. This trend had started even before election and still went on ahead after election. And this is actually after Trump won, because most of these women or most of these girlfriends that are actually breaking with their partners, most of them feel and believe that their partners actually voted against their rights as a woman. We all know what Project 2025 have in store for most women and most of the policies that Trump have for women and his administration. Some of the things, we know some of the states in the United States of America do not support abortion. Some of the places you cannot go to hospital even when it's an emergency. A doctor will not be in a position to work on you because of fear of being jailed or facing a law, because it's been said that it's illegal to do this in the United States of America. I don't know if this is gonna happen in all the states, or I don't know if this new administration come 2025 to give states the right to have the laws that they want for its people, as it's always been. So I don't know what's gonna happen, guys, and people are divorcing, homes are breaking, and it's quite sad to see people leaving each other over political issues. And I actually quite understand some of these women that are actually walking out of these marriages, because I don't believe when people say for better or worse, because it's supposed to be always better. Why do I have to stick with someone that, even when it comes to us, especially when they don't care about my rights? Unless when you say worse, when something happens to my partner, when bad things happen to them, when they need my help, when they're in their worst times, I'll be there to help them. But not when it comes to my partner voting against my own rights. And I don't understand why, or I don't understand the discussions that people actually do have when it comes to marriages, because these, you should be knowing what your partner supports. You should be knowing what he likes, what he doesn't like, or what she likes or what she doesn't like. You should be knowing some of the things that he's against. But nowadays it's quite sad. Not only nowadays, it's sad that people get into marriage without first putting things on the table, that I don't think I can stand you when you do this, and you waste each other's time being in marriage for like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and only come to realize that you guys were never meant to be, or you guys cannot be together, or things are not working out, just because you ignored so many things and didn't want to have an open discussion or an open conversation, because you think you'll be offending the other partner. But guess what? Then you've been in a marriage for so long and only come to find out that you cannot stand this person. This is why it's so important for people to have a discussion, to have an open conversation with their partners before they go a further step of saying, yes, I do, and yes, I'm gonna stand with you for better or for worse, because it's quite a commitment which it's actually hard to break. I cannot imagine now some of the families that maybe would choose to separate with their partners and they have kids. What does that mean for the kids? What does that mean for the future of these kids? I've grown up in a single with a single mom, and a single parent household, it's not like it's that bad, but there are some of the things that would really be helpful, or would have really be helpful if I had a dad on my side. But now I don't know what's gonna be the case of these kids, that some of their parents will choose, or some mothers will choose to leave their fathers just because they've voted against their rights and what they do want. I would love to know what your thoughts are on the comment section, guys. This is actually sad, such a sad story, and I understand some people didn't actually get to understand some of these policies. They didn't get to go through some of the policies because they were so blinded, because they maybe hated the other politician, or maybe they felt there was no any other better candidate to vote for, and I only have this candidate left that I would actually give my vote. I don't know, guys, but for men who actually voted against your wives' rights, or against your girlfriend, against your mom, against your sister, against your auntie, against your niece, I'd love you to tell me on the comment section what motive or what moved you to doing that. Thank you so much for watching up to this part, guys. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and until the next episode, bye.